Hey guys, welcome to Whiskey Wise, with me Jason, bringing you Whiskey Review number 4, where we're going to be reviewing the Glen Deveron 16-year-old. Now in this review we're going to get started, we're going to pour ourselves a little bit in our glass, which I picked up from the Whiskey Fair in Limburg, which is actually a gift if you attend the Whiskey Fair. And I'm going to use it over my Glencairn glass, which is just to my right. Now, the Glen Deveron 16 is part of a series of 3 bottles, all from the Royal Burr collection: a 16-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 30-year-old whiskey. Now these 3 whiskies are only exclusive to the travel retail market, so if you're flying, maybe traveling by a train or a boat, you have an opportunity to find these whiskies and buy it. And the distillery it's released from is from the Macduff distillery, which is owned by Bacardi. Now, I'll read a little bit off the back before we get started, let that whiskey let sort of oxidize just a little bit and open up, so to speak. So, the distillery is actually located in the northeast of Scotland, and it's right next to the bank of the River Deveron. That's why it got the name the Deveron, or Glen Deveron. In terms of the Royal Burr collection, I'll actually read that paragraph, which is actually a little bit further down. The Royal Burr collection is a selection of our rarest whiskies, hand-selected from the distillery's private reserve. It commemorates the Royal Burr of Banff, an ancient seaport beside our distillery, chartered by King Robert II of Scotland. So, gives you a bit of an understanding. Now, in terms of that range, they're all travel retail exclusive. This one specifically, I'll go through my whiskey style as I like to review. It is a 16-year-old whiskey. It is bottled at 40% ABV, as you'll probably be able to tell either on the front over here. I should just have it, and it's also got it on the back, just over here. So it's a 40% ABV. In terms of where it is based in the Highlands, so northeast. So it's not a smoky whiskey, this one in particular. In terms of the distillery, it's the Macduff distillery, owned by Bacardi. And this is a litre bottle, and I paid, in terms of price point of view, I paid $46.99, which in terms of travel retail, that is actually really good value for money in terms of if you're getting an age statement whiskey, because travel retail, what they do is they produce stuff in such mass quantities that they don't have time to put, age statements on certain bottles because they sell so fast. And with this one, you have a 16-year-old whiskey, so which is quite nice. In terms of exclusivity, yes, it's travel retail, and in terms of colouring, they don't specify on this bottle itself about the E150, but I'll just hold the bottle just to a side because I've actually got a white background now. I've actually changed my recording location. It does look a little bit dark, but that could be down to the sherry casks over the 16-year period. But we're going to give that as a 50-50. I'm possibly saying that it might have a little bit of E150, but because it doesn't state it, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So, in terms of assessing the whiskey, we're going to go look straight into the colour. And the colour of the whiskey is looking... It does look like a really nice goldeny colour. It's 16 years old in fine sherry oak casks. I'd say more or less an amber. It doesn't have different hues. I did check different bottles just to understand the coloration. It did look all fairly consistent. So I'd say it's a nice golden amber colour. So we'll get started with the review. Onto the nose. And I also forgot to mention, I actually do have the 20-year-old right behind the camera right now, and the 30, so they'll be in the upcoming whiskey reviews. So do stay tuned for those. Now in terms of the nose, let's get started. Wow, that is really soft, really delicate. No alcohol whatsoever. Some whiskeys sometimes initially when you nose them, they can be a little bit sharp, but this one is so soft. You're definitely getting the nice rich fruity notes. It's very juicy, not dry fruits, more summery fruits. And I'm getting more of the apple notes on this one. And the apple I'm pinpointing this one exactly down to is a green, golden, delicious apple. It's really, actually, green, golden, delicious, or I'd even probably say Granny Smith apple. It's got that really nice sort of profile, and it's also, it's like without the skin, it's got that nice texture as well. It just smells really great. Now I'm definitely getting a little bit of barley notes And they do state on the back over here that it does have fine toasted cereal, but I'm not getting that toasted effect at all whatsoever. I'm just getting this is just standard. It actually smells like when you open a brand new packet of oats in the morning. And as soon as you get that nice smell, that whiff of the oats, that's the sort of notes I'm getting off this one straight away. It's not really toasted, so I'm not 100% with those tasting notes of the toasted cereal notes, but definitely getting a bit of a malty, barley, oatiness over there. So it is really nice and really soft. So that's the nose. It doesn't have so much complexity, so we're going to get straight into the palate and understand exactly what we're tasting. So initially, as it meets the palate, the texture-wise, it's not heavy and it's not light. It's just in between. But I'd probably say it's just a bit lighter than medium. So it's just between medium and light, just to get it pinpoint exactly. It's really, really delicate, no bite in the alcohol whatsoever. You do get that really nice, rich apple fruitiness straight on the palate, and it's very succulent apples. It's as if you're biting into a really ripe apple and you're getting that nice juice from it. Another way also is you get a little bit of barlyness, so it does create a little bit of dryness right towards the back of the palate, and it doesn't have so much going on there. It is very, very simple, this whiskey. It's not got a lot of complexity to it. I'm gonna have a second sip, essentially, to see whatever develops from that one. Okay, so after a little bit, the apple notes becomes a little bit sweeter, and it sort of reminds me a little bit like an apple pudding, like an apple crumble. It's like the insides where it's like really nicely stewed together, and you've got a little bit of sweetness, and it just sort of reminds me like almost like having a rich tea biscuit. That little bit of sweetness, but at the same time the really unique flavor profile. And that could be something you could try. I'm probably going to try that after the review. Try having a rich tea biscuit. If you don't get them, if you got a Tesco's or local superstore, maybe not a digestive, but a rich tea biscuit, it's just got a really nice profile about it, and it really goes really nicely in terms of the taste. Again, as I said before, not a lot of complexity. This whiskey is rather simple, and like the tasting notes on the back, they say apple cereal. It says over here full fruity. I'm not finding it so full. But unless they're talking about in terms of the texture of the fruit, like the apple, the juiciness, that you can actually understand. But there's not many fruits going on into this whiskey. So let's assess the finish, and then I'll come to my final conclusion on the review. Okay, so the finish wise, it does have, it's a little hint of sweet spice over there. It's almost like a cinnamon, but it's very, very light. And back to the apple, you're definitely getting that nice, rich fruitiness notes. A little bit of sweetness, and I'd say it's more or less associated like maple syrup. It's not really coating the mouth very well. Overall texture, again, still very light. The finish, in terms of the lingering effect, it is light, or it's just a short finish in that one. In that sense, it's not heavy at all, and neither is it medium. It sort of just ends really quickly within a couple of seconds of just having it. So, on that note, it's not a great long finish, but I think that's down to the ABV of this whiskey. So, overall, in terms of comments of this whiskey, I think it's fantastic value for money. You're paying around about £47 for a litre bottle, and at that too, it's a 16-year-old whiskey, so you're getting an age statement attached. It's really good if you're into just exploring other whiskies, and also if you want something that is non-smoky, and also, you know, it's going to be great for many people, like people that are just starting with whiskies to people who have been, you know, connoisseurs for a very long time. I think this one does give you that really nice and it's very easy drinking. I think it's an everyday whiskey that you can make and enjoy. Not in terms of making, but in terms of the enjoyment side of enjoying it every day. So I think this is a fantastic whiskey. In terms of whiskey actual review, in terms of score, I'm going to give it an 84 out of 100. In terms of, I think it's a great whiskey, and I definitely think this is value for money. If you're ever flying through an airport, by all means, or any sort of port whatsoever, do see if you can find this one and ask for a sample. They should be giving samples out in many places. Like, I got to try out the whole range. So in the next video, we should have the 20 and the 30-year-old. Do let me know if you have had tried them. What do you think of them? And also be sure to follow me on Twitter. I will leave that in the information box on this video. So as always, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys' response, and let me know, what do you think of the Glen Deverons? If you tried even the 30, let me know in the opinion down below, and I'll have those videos out in the upcoming days. But this has been Whiskey Wise and Jason, and I'll catch you all for the next whiskey review.